I'm going to show you how to find the best proxy printer within your budget, and I'm going to give you my personal recommendation of 4 printers in each budget level. My name is CryCry. This video is sponsored by the CryCry Secret Layer. Let's get into it. All right, so what we see right here is a link from my link tree. Right here you can see I have a material tool list August 2025. So I update this file quite often based on the materials I test or materials that my people from CryCry Secret Layer, the private school community, tests. Just cool gadgets and tools, accessories, I update them in here, and then you have access to my link tree and you can go check it out. And in here I have listed the printers that we're going to talk about today, right? So the ultra low budget printer all the way to the premium tier printer. And the reason why I want to make this video is I actually just purchased my ET8550 with a steal of price, and I'll show you where I got that in a bit. Yeah, so obviously these are Amazon links, and then once you click into them, they'll show you and take you to the printer. Now I have personally owned the Brother ultra low budget printer. That's the printer that I started with printing Proxy with, and then I went up to the ET2980 and I skipped the mid-tier printer right here and I went straight to the ET8550. Now I'm gonna show you this website that I love very much so, called RTINGS.com. You get 10 reviews every day, free reviews to look at the printers, and in here it tells you everything you need to know about a printer. For me, this is where I can decide before I have seen any of the result of the printer, before I even see a result. I look up the price and I put the name in here, search up a printer, and I can look at all the information about this printer. So right here, there's a couple of things that I would recommend you to look at before you decide to purchase a printer. Now, you might be saying, oh yeah, you're fanboying over Epson because 3 of the printers out of 4 are Epson. The reason why I love Epson printer is because of the eco tank situation. I mean, for the Brother printers, there is a I want to say an industry myth that the cartridge system the printers use is a scam, and I didn't buy into that. I thought people were just joking, but until I start paying like $100 every 3 months to switch out the ink cartridges, then I quickly realized that's not the way to go. So the situation with the Brother printer, even though it's a great printer within its budget tier, nothing can beat the $89 right here, current model right here, $89 at the moment of me recording this video. A steal of a printer, really, truly. So if you can get, oh actually, hold on, that's not it. That's a totally different printer right there. J1360DW. Maybe we can use this as an example. Let's say you came across a deal like this, right? You don't really know the printer and you're like, oh, $89, that's really cheap. I wonder if this is good enough for me to get started with printing Proxy. What you do is you really copy this. Excuse me. Copy this name, go over to RTINGS.com. So I have the Brother MFC J1010DW printer pulled up. I'm gonna open up a new window, paste the other printer we saw. Well, unfortunately, we cannot find a review article about that exact printer. It must be a new model. Let me just verify it real quick. So we go there. Okay, this was post August 25, so it's a recently fairly recently new. Wow, 1 star. Okay, so this is a new printer. As we can see, it might just be Epson's solution to upgrade from their lowest tier printer. There's a couple of things you can look for if you can't find any of the result on RTINGS.com. You come here, you go to the specification, and then there's a couple of things you want to look at, right? Obviously, you want to look at the photo printing quality. The print quality is definitely something we got to look for, but you also need to look at the paper handling right here. For example, out of all the categories right here, so under paper handling, you want to look at automatic documentary feeder. It's such a, I do not miss this. I just want to let you know. The reason being that you will get paper jams quite often if that's the way to go. You know, it does not have a rear feeder, meaning you can't feed your paper on the back straight. You have to pull out this little tray at the bottom and then put your paper in there, and it automatically grabs them, and it's not the best, really, truly. I think they should just completely ditch that whole idea. So for example, the Epson printers are out here, all of them, as far as I know, they all have a rear feeder on the back where you can just sit your paper on the back and it will just automatically go down as it's printing. So, you know, if you're really tight on the budget, right? If you're really tight on a budget, you look at this deal, you're like 89, that's a steal. I have to look into this, see if this can get me into it. Then these are the things you look at, right? So paper handling, that's not great. Automatically document feeder. Standard sheet weight. Okay, 17 to 24 pound. So it's on the lighter side. So if you're printing on the cardstock, or if you're printing slightly heavier photo papers, for example, like the 54-pound double-sided photo paper that we print on, they cannot promise the result. You know, all the saying is, if you are using something that's heavier or lighter, they cannot promise the result, right? So you run into some risk here. Now, paper handle size A4 letter, that's great. That's mainly the two things that we are looking for. Now let me see this real quick. Okay, it wouldn't be under this category. Wireless connecting is always welcome to have, right? Printing, let's see it. Automatic duplex printing, that just means you can print both sides, and it will, if your file is double-sided, it will print the front, you take it out, put it back in, it will print the back for you. Okay, let's see. Color printing speed. Speed isn't really something that we look at. If it gives us all we need to know. General, maybe under general, that's not it. So the difficult thing about not having a review article to look at is you really don't know the printing quality. You cannot decide. So I would say to stay away from this printer until you can check out the print quality, right? Because it's a hassle. If you set it up and it prints and it's poor quality, you have to send it back. So I would just suggest avoid that one. Now let's look at this one I originally recommended, the Brother MFC J1010DW. Now this printer right here has a very high score. Okay, it is probably, okay, let me just show you a comparison real quick. Okay, so this is the Epson, this is the mid-tier printer that I recommend, right, from Epson. Just gonna show you this real quick. We'll look it up, right? We'll pull this review up. Look at this. 8.4 versus 7.7. That's not a huge difference here in terms of, you know, the scoring system, how they do it. But look at the price. The ET40A50 almost pushing 500, probably 500 including shipping and tax, right? Now this printer right here is $100 if you can find one, or you can even find a renewed, refurbished version, right? So if you can find one of these for cheap, it's an absolutely steal, right? Okay, so let's look at the couple of the things. Why can I scroll down and refresh? Oh, there we go. So we can scroll down here. Now you can look at all of these categories if you like to, but there's a couple of things that I want to point out to you. They really go deep, okay, with all of the testings, you know, the display screen cartridges. Okay, so right here, 5.0. This is one of the reasons if you bought a brother printer, I would recommend you to switch it out to an Epson EcoTank. Just switch away from the cartridges situation for good, because they are expensive. They don't last long. Yeah, that's the main reason. You know, it gets very expensive very quickly if you're printing on a regular basis, which I was. Okay, let's go down here. Scan quality, that's a bonus. Color document, black document, black and white document, that's good. Print speed 7.7, which is not bad at all. It's, you know, you can look at the average right here. Most printers are really good, but some printers are really bad at this. Okay, right here under the photo session is where we want to spend most of our time. Now you want to look at a couple of things right here. Color gamut and the color accuracy, both sides. These are pretty important. They show you exactly how your print will come out to be. Okay, and you might think 6.0 is a pretty low score, but if you take a look, it's actually not that low. It's just average, truly. I mean, some of these printers up here are more expensive, on the more expensive side of the things, right? You know, like at the ET4850 right here. The Epson, some of the Epsons right here, the 2980, that's the one I use, right? It produces really good color. So what I'm saying is, this printer prints okay. Color gamut and color accuracy. If you don't know what that means, it's just it replicates color well, right? The saturation is good. To look at the skin tone as well, that's what it means, right? But something that's really impressive about this printer is the small details. Okay, it's a 9.0 out of 10. So not a lot of printers can, at this price range, can rank up here. Okay, not a lot of printers can rank up here if you look at all the cheaper printers. So that's one thing I really like about this printer. Overall, it prints really good quality of color. Right here, 6.0, it's very good. Okay, we can compare this. You can compare this offline too with other printers you're looking at. Specifically, when we're only talking about Brother and Epson brand printers, but you have what, HP, Canon, some of the random brands out there. But I would stick with the reputable brands, for example, like HP, Canon, and Epson, and Brother. So really, it is very impressive, and it tells you also, where is it, the color handling situation. I might have to look through this to find that. Not color handling, sorry, paper handling situation. But yeah, this website really gives you all the details you need to know before you make your purchase decision. Okay, that's why I always come here to look at the printer before I even buy it. I mean, you also could go into the store, maybe ask the employee who's working at maybe Office Max. You know, they might not be as knowledgeable as this website, I would suspect. So let's move on to our ED48 fifth actually. So the brother printer, remember, is our ultra low budget, right, printer. I linked the ink cartridges as well. Now we're gonna look at our budget printer. This is what I would call a budget printer, is the ED2980, which is the printer I currently have. Very new model, very capable, pushing $300, but if you find it on sale, it's probably like $250, around that. I love this printer, to be honest. I think because the reason that we're using these printers are not conventional, like we're talking about a niche group here. We're buying printers to print mainly card images. They're basically photos, right? So I guess you can argue we belong to the photo printer people side, but again, this printer will get the job done. And then let's pull it up real quick, see the score real quick. Maybe we can compare that to our brother printer. But something I really like about this printer, and it's probably the biggest plus, it's the ink situation. Now, I've owned this printer for, I don't know, 2-3 months now. Okay, I've only bought ink once. I've only switched out ink once. So it came with a pack of ink, right? When you first purchased the printer, I printed, I don't know how many decks, 10, right? And then I bought a second set of ink, and I'm on my way to printing another 10 decks, or even do testings and whatever, right? I'm not even halfway through with those ink. If you buy a brother printer, you're probably on your, I don't know, 4th cartridges, and each cartridge is probably like $20, right? So what's that? That's 4 of them, that's $80. That's $180 right there. And you have to deal with all the hassles of switching out cartridges and putting it back. Third-party cartridges does not work well with the printer. That's just the reality of it. If you want to buy the original brother brand cartridges, they are twice as expensive as the third-party one. So there's, you really don't get much of a choice. Great ink situation with our Epson. They really nailed it on that end. Let's scroll down real quick. So you see this little tab on the back right here, build quality right here. That's what I was telling you. It's the rear feeder for paper, and then it just works great. I've never had a paper jam situation. I print with cardstock, I print with photo paper, I print with sticker paper plus cardstock. Never had a jam situation. Now the color gamut, great. If you can dial in the settings according to what you like, man, this is top tier color gamut right here. Color accuracy, not as crazy, but great, right? Small detail, not super sharp, but top tier. Okay, 8.5 compared to the brother 9.0. Capable printer, to say the least. And as you will see, we go higher in the price, the gap between printers, or the quality of prints, will get smaller and smaller. Meaning, this right here, for your average user, for your average proxy maker, not as hardcore as I am, this is enough. You know what I mean? This printer will last you a long time. Now, one thing I have not verified with Epson that I do want to ask them is, you probably, if you've seen my older videos, when I print a sheet, sometimes I get this blur at the end, near the end bottom of the sheet. it has something to do. One of y'all on my YouTube channel commented this whole essay. Great job actually analyzing why that was the reason. I think it has something to do with the wheel that's spinning, that's feeding the paper. It slips or something. That's the only downside I can think about with this printer right here. Everything else is great. I have zero problem printing. Yeah, for what I do, this printer kills it right here. And let's move on to our ET4850 right here, our mid-tier recommendation. Now, all of these printers, even though I never used the ET4850, I've seen people in Reddit or some other groups, and people have tested stuff, and people use this printer and they trust this printer. And I've seen the results. So this is a mid-tier based on the price. Now, is it mid-tier based on the performance? You can argue. There's some room for argument there. So let's scroll down, take a look. I mean, you know, the 4850 is a little bigger. It's faster. So that makes it attractive, for example, compared to the 2980 for some people. But if we go down to our right here, document, no brainer, they're all good. If we come down to our photo side of the things, right? If you look at the color gamut, great, but the color accuracy is not as great. I can see a huge difference right there. By the way, in this website has a built-in comparison thing, but how did I do that the last time? I can't remember, but you can have a side-by-side comparison. But you can, I don't know if you can tell there's a huge difference in terms of color accuracy when I switch back and forth between these two printers. The 2980 is a warmer in tone, and then the 4850 is a little bluer, cooler in the tone, right? In terms of, you know, white balance side of thing. But I'm pretty sure you can fix that with your printer's drive setting on your computer before you print. But straight out of the factory, then this is what you get, right? 4.0. Now, if we scroll down here, look at the small detail, they are the same. I mean, they're similar, but they're the same. You know what I'm saying? Something that you could look into, that it might be a deciding factor whether you buy a printer or not, is the DPI, right? The max resolution a printer can print. Now, these ones, they print great resolutions, but if a printer does not print good resolution, I mean, this is great right here, 1200 times 6000. It's just slightly large, well, what do they call it, wider. I guess the way they calculate it is a little different, but these printers, they all print at a high DPI. Most consumer printers are. Most inkjet consumer printers are. Okay, so the 5080, so what you're really getting is probably the print speed, 6.8, compared to right here, the ED2980, and then compare to the brother. So what makes the 4850 so high up in the rank is that, first of all, it's as reliable as it gets. I know people have been using this printer for years. Now, this printer came out a while ago. Somebody fact check me at what time it came out, but not too old, fairly recently new, but you know, have had no problem with using this printer. This one is a newer model that just came out. Obviously, it was jam-packed with a little bit more, you know, newer technology, if you say. If it's a refreshed model, right, of their older model. So these two are going to come in very close, comparing each other. Now this can handle a lot of heavy load work. For example, like document printing, it's gonna go super fast. The scanning feature is probably better than the smaller printers right here. Right? You can see those differences. But again, if you are buying this printer, you're probably not just using it to print Proxy. Okay. Granted, I use my 2980 to print documents as well. But the 4850 is a very, you can use this in a hybrid situation. Heavy office use versus hobbyist proxy printing, right? It will not be disappointed, besides the fact that the color accuracy. Although, I'm gonna pull this up and show you, okay? So this website right here is where I got my 8550. If you look at this price, it's kind of crazy. So this is the certified renew product from Epson. Now, I would only recommend you to buy a 4850 when it's refurbished. Now, if you look at this price right here, if you came across a deal like this, because this printer is new, it's probably not going to go on sale pretty often, right? It's what, 26 or 270? Okay, so close to 280. But if you come to this website right here, this thing, a refurbished ET4850 is cheaper than the new 2980, and that I would call it a good deal. Okay, right here. Pick this one up if you can. I don't know how many of these are in stock, but all of these printers right here, as long as they're certified renew, pick it up. And that's where I got my 8550 for $200 less than the original price. That's a steal right here. Okay, so yeah, remember to go to this Epson certified renew product. I don't know how many are in stock, but I'm assuming they're gonna run out super quickly. Okay, so let's take a look at our premium tier printer here, the 8550. Now this printer is the Ferrari basically of the printer world. I want to point out one thing. Look at how many inks it uses. This guy uses 4. This guy used 4. This printer has 4 cartridges. Okay, 4 cartridges, 4 colors. This guy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it has 2 types of black. I mean, this is why this printer is the premium tier printer. Okay, the photo, the image quality come out this printer is stunning. I have seen it in real person. I never owned one, but I wanted to, so I finally made the purchase decision. Not because I needed it, so that I can make tutorials for you guys, so I can, you know what I mean? Like I promise it's not because I have a shopping addiction. I like new stuff. I really genuinely bought this printer so I can make tutorials. So let's take a look at this printer. We have a fairly high score, and look at the photo. Photo score is being highlighted at 8.8. Now this printer is something. Let me just tell you that, okay? Top tier printer, print speed green, everything else green. Photo. Now let's take a look. Small detail first of all, 9.5. That's the highest score I've seen, okay? Out of all the printers I've seen personally, in person. Color gamut, 9.0. Color accuracy 6.8, not bad at all. This is okay. First of all, color accuracy, you see they're not all the printers have a higher score in terms of color accuracy. You actually don't need it to have a very high score during the color accuracy column. That's what I found. If you dial in your settings, it will just come out beautiful, regardless the score right here, truly. So you will not have any issue whatsoever going with this printer in terms of quality, in terms of function. That's why it's premium tier. You have less headache. You can just go crazy with this thing. That's why it costs the most, because everything is green. Now you might ask, what I'm actually kind of curious. Oh, I can't remember when the last time I checked this. So in terms of color accuracy, I want to see who's on the top of the list. Okay, I see a Canon printer right there, top of the list by itself. Okay, we have Epson Sure Color. Now I'm curious what this printer does. Sheesh. 9.2 in photo. What kind of printer is this? Okay, so it doesn't have a scanner. Okay, it has a digital screen of displaying all the oh my god. Did you see how many color it uses? Oh. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10. There's 10 colors. It has a pink right here. Sheesh. Okay, but it uses cartridge. Okay, let's see. Blah 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 blah. I want to see how much this now with that right there, 2.9, some people already turned off. Okay, that's way too slow. Okay, that's printing a document. They probably didn't test printing a photo. It probably takes like 5 minutes to print one. Okay, so okay yeah, this is crazy. 8.5 is crazy. I want to see. Okay, so a lot of Canons up here. I know a known issue with Canon is the speed and not so friendly, not so eco-friendly, you know, the cartridge situation. Definitely. Okay, I see it. I mean, suffers from print speed. That's a given. It seems like that's the trade-off. If you want to have really high quality photos, your printer would tend to print slower. So again, I think you will not regret going with this printer. Not even with this printer if you're doing a small amount of printing. Okay, the Brother J1010, if you can find it for $100, just buy like, I don't know, 2-3 cartridges. Use it once in a while. I mean, it's recommended you use it regularly because your I'm missing a word right here. Your printer head might be clogged if you leave it for a while and then you don't use it, or the ink will dry up. You have to maintain it, right? So that's the only thing. Yeah, so basically if you came across a printer on Amazon, let's say you didn't watch this video. Well, let's say you watched this video, you didn't like any of the printers I recommended. You just have absolutely this prejudice against Epson and Brother. Let's say that you're a Canon fanboy. Where am I? Yeah, there we go. Let's say if you're a Canon fanboy, you type in a Canon printer, you're like, oh shoot, this printer only $79. Now let's see it. Let's see how good this printer is. You copy the printer name, model, go to ratings.com. By the way, they're not our sponsor. I just genuinely like to use this website as a tool. You pull it up. And you're like, oh, 66, why is that? It does print pretty good photo though, 7.6. Now let's take a look. Display screen is garbage, cartridge is garbage. Let's take a look at photo. Hey, photo is pretty decent. Small details good. You know what? I think I'm gonna buy this because it's $20 cheaper than the $100 brother. And I'm probably gonna spend another $100 on cartridges and probably deal with all of these bugs or slow print speed, whatever this print has. Now, no judgment, okay? I just want to show you this website as a tool. So when you come across a printer you're not sure of, you can come here and look at the result before you make your purchase decision. That's all it is. Now, I forgot to mention something. You can see there's the ET8500 and then the 8550. What is the difference between these two? The only difference, as far as I know, is the maximum size that the printer allows you to print. So the 8500 has a smaller maximum size print that you can do right here. Borderless printing up to 8.5 times 11. That's, I want to say letter, if I'm not tripping. But for the 8550, it can print up to 13 times 19. So larger, much larger prints. Not necessary at all. You can 100% just buy the 8500 and then be fine with it. Unless you are a secret photographer who also likes to print high quality images that they've taken on their couple $1,000 camera setup, which I happen to be one. But I've never printed my photos, although I might give it a try though. If you didn't know, I started as a photographer when I was going to college. I was a photographer first. So I have a very picky taste when it comes to color and detail of printing because of that. So that's all I want to show you in this video. I also linked all the refill bottles that I personally use. The mid-tier and the budget printer, they use the same ink, super cheap, lasts super long, okay? Yeah, this video is only just gonna be about printers. Now, I did not mention laser printer. I know some of y'all are asking, yo, I've seen some people get really good result with laser printer. Should I look into? You can, I'm not stopping you. If you're willing to pay the price, which is much higher than regular inkjet printer. The meanness, the ink, it's also cartridge situation with ink, with laser printers. Maybe I can pull it up. HP laser. I don't know. I'm just picking on a random HP. I don't even know if they're good for what they do, right? So if I pick, so laser printer, and you just need to know this. Laser printers are always going to struggle with the photo quality just because the way they're built, the way they print stuff, okay? They're always going to have worse color accuracy, gamut, small detail. Look at all these dots. That's just what it is with laser, okay? Although they don't look too bad on a foil paper when you print them, because when I tested it at Office Max, they have laser printers, right? The Office use version of those, and I put my foil sticker into it, and the result came out decent. You know, it's usable. Yeah, definitely usable. It's definitely usable proxies, but not as high quality as inkjet printer, and they are more expensive to maintain. So that's why we didn't talk about laser printer at all in this video. But yeah, let me know if I missed anything in the comment. I really appreciate all of your support. Really, yeah, the support on this channel has been crazy from all of you guys. And I could not do what I love to do, which is sharing my findings, because I'm a person who, when I find a rabbit hole, I will dig deep, which is transpired this whole Proxy project for me, is because I wanted to see how much I can push the quality of the Proxy making process with all the tools and resources we have now. Hence, that's why I made the Proxy bundle, really. So I did a little bit of a renovation to our store. As you can see, it looks a little different, but we're gonna change some of the details, because again, if you haven't seen the last video, I talk about we found this new material, which is double-sided foil photo paper for inkjet, right? That's a total game changer. No more cardstock, no more sticker paper, no more taking the sticker paper, applying it on cardstock. That whole process is eliminated with this new product. And then that's coming in with all the pre-ordered bundles. Now we have a couple of bundles I think left over. You can still go order them, but after this release, which is my first ever making a product for a group of people, right? I mean, there's a lot of learning that took place for me and everybody that purchased it from me. Thank you for your patience and grace again. We will get better in the future for sure, learning from the experience that we had. So that's why, again, I made this bundle so that we can refine our process, also save money getting all of these materials directly from the factory. Okay, so if you don't care about the card sleeves and then the card mags, just get package C, because right here it's only just all the papers without all the other add-ons. Your 2 mil lamination, also that too is revolutionary, because nobody else sells that. At least I couldn't find it, right? 2 mil lamination, both glossy and matte. Just for the value of those three, 2 mil lamination, glossy, matte, plus the double-sided foil paper, just for those two alone, I think is just game changer, right? So that's what's transpires in package C. But if you want everything to add on, including this right here deck box for package B, like you're starting from scratch, right? But again, I want to do a big shout out to everybody who's seen my Cracker Secret Layer school community, and everybody here watching on YouTube or TikTok, wherever you're watching. This to me is, I want to say, it's life-changing. Okay, just me come on here and share what I found. I'm a nerd. I'm just a nerd that loves to play card games, sharing these new findings of mine, and it's a hobby of me trying to connect with people online. So I come up here and share my knowledge, and the response is just being amazing. Majority of you are really supportive, and I cannot say enough. I cannot give you enough credit, and it helped me to become a better card maker, proxy maker, a better content creator, and I've made a lot of friends. Actually, I've met people in person that we play Magic with. I mean, which is the whole point. I want to get you to play the game of Magic, right? Come together and play, and not be limited by your resources, your finances, or whatever, right? So love you. I'm praying for you. And I'll see you in the next one.